The following film is presented in its complete theatrical version. It was rated R by the MPAA and may not be appropriate for children under 17.
Did you miss me?
Hello, good evening. How are you? Great, wonderful, fabulous. Yay, you. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's your boy Dirty. Back in the building once again. Another topic to touch on. Something that's not really being spoke on. But before we get into that, 50 billion things in YouTube. The fact that you allow me to grace your screen for any amount of time is greatly appreciated. More than I can verbally express. If you're listening on Spotify, thank you. You know what I mean? Appreciate you as well. If you're listening on your phone, thank you. Your TV, thank you. Wherever device you're using, I appreciate you. Ramble, wherever you at, thank you. Tonight we're going to talk about a couple of things. You know what I mean? The title is the NFL trying to take away the Raiders' international popularity. I think that is a topic of discussion that I want to talk about. There's got to be reasons for that happening. But before we get into the show, I have a guest backstage to come and have a wonderful conversation with me about this as well. We talked about it a little bit earlier as I was thinking about putting the show together. Ladies and gentlemen, y'all know, there's a few people in the world that we, that people really, get along with, you know what I mean? There's even fewer in NWA. This man is part of NWA, but he's also the James Brown of Raider content creation. I feel like he's the hardest working content creator I know, with multiple platforms, from Combat Lounge to the Unfiltered Truth, to writing articles for, I believe it's Raider Ramble, if I'm not mistaken. I believe it's Raider Ramble. But just the overall good guy, ladies and gentlemen. Please welcome to the stage the one, the only, Mr. Phil Robinson. What's up with you, Phil?
What's going on, Dirty?
No, nothing much, man. Just bringing up a topic of discussion. You know what I mean? I applaud everybody for the shows that they create and things of that nature. But, I felt like talking about the players, that we just got was getting a little stale. So I want to kind of change it up a little bit, and talk about a little bit something else that has to do with the Raiders. And that's the fact that the international game that we were told was like a possibility, which was Buffalo and the Raiders. Now it turns out to be that it's Buffalo and Jacksonville. And the crazy thing is Jacksonville has Baltimore the week before in London. Then they turn around and they have Buffalo the week after in London. Or is it Baltimore or is it the Jets? It's one of the two. Either way it goes. they got 2 games back to back. What happened to our game? Well, I was looking forward to possibly going to London if I could. So what happened to our game?
Well, I gotta tell you, there's a couple ways to look at that. Right now, the Super Bowl is going to be in Vegas, so they're definitely going to want to show the stadium. I don't know if it's going to be the Raider games, but they're certainly going to want to show the stadium because that's one of the crown jewels of the league. That's the brand new market that has been everything they'd hoped for and more. Been a great place to host the draft. Going to be great for the Pro Bowl. They brought the Pro Bowl from Hawaii back to Vegas.
Mm-hmm.
Potentially looking at you're going to have a Super Bowl, so it's going to be in a super rotation at least every 5-6 years. So you're that's a market that you want to continue to maximize and milk for whatever it's worth. Now, when the Raiders were doing international games, they were that was when they were trying to garner support to get the move to Las Vegas. If you notice, once they got to Las Vegas, they stopped doing that shit.
Yeah. I mean, I always thought the reason why the Raiders was overseas was to sell the game of football. And what better team than to send than the, at time, Oakland Raiders, that silver and black, that mesquite, you know what I mean? Because we had fans outside the country. Other teams didn't have fans like us outside the country. So we were definitely a market to target, you know what I mean? But, that just helped the game grow even more. Now, I have my concerns as to why I think we're not in the international market anymore, but we'll get to those a little bit later on as a few more people start to pile in, you know what I mean? Because I think they're going to definitely want to hear what has to be said about that. But as just in a general overall, you know what I mean, I'm looking at this as kind of like a smack in the face. Never before have you ever scheduled a team to play 2 weeks in London, and to top it off, you would pick the Jaguars, not even the Dallas Cowboys. Like, I think I would pick a team that is more marketable, you know what I mean, than the Jacksonville Jaguars. And it's not to to cop a squat on them guys or nothing like that, or to downplay them. But I mean, I think I would have picked a team with a bigger fan base or crowd, unless there's some other intentions behind them being the team that plays in Europe twice. So,
all things considered, they very well could be shafting the Raiders on an opportunity to expand the brand. The thing about Jacksonville's owner, Shad Khan, is that he's made most of his money in London. And at one point, and I'm not going to steal your thunder because you and I have spoken about what a potential direction this could take, and so I'll let you drop that.
mm-hmm.
But to me, there's really the Raiders aren't quite good enough to be representing the NFL internationally. If Jacksonville at least made the playoffs last year.
True.
So you're getting a playoff team and getting a couple decent playoff games.
Yeah, I can see that, but I honestly believe that if there was a quarterback that was still here, the Raiders might still be playing internationally. I mean, that's just my thought process. I'm not trying to go down that road of that whole scenario or anything, but I mean, I would like to know, how many, if that is so the case. I mean, is it the ability of the quality football? I mean, is it the quality of football that we put on the field that's keeping us from that international game?
So when you ask that question, you stop to think, who are the most valuable teams in the league? The Cowboys are supposed to be America's team. Right now, the Kansas City Chiefs are the hottest thing smoking. Tampa Bay is experiencing got to the mountaintop and now they're sliding down the backside. Carolina's got a little bit of hype, but haven't done anything. Buffalo is we're waiting for Josh Allen to get over the hump and hoping he doesn't turn into a modern day Jim Kelly. Joe Burrow got to the bowl but couldn't beat Patrick Mahomes, so the Bengals are another one of those crown jewel teams. But I mean, if the Raiders are good, they dwarf them all. Everybody except Kansas City.
Yeah. Well, I had thought about, I had talked to you earlier today, and I had thought, maybe it had something to do with the maybe the possibility of the quarterback, right?
Mm-hmm.
And primetime games. But when I went and looked it up, the Niners had 5 primetime games last year. You know what I mean? 5. The reason why we had talked about primetime games is because I had seen a slight leak of the schedule, and I didn't see any primetime games for us. And I was just like wondering, like, what would be the issue? And now I'm starting to see it. It was the fact that last year we were looked at as a team that could quite possibly be, a threat in the AFC, in all based on what we have did the previous year with lesser talent and no head coach. So a lot of people gave us the benefit of the doubt and said a lot of things, great things about us early on the start, and then we came out and just shit the bed. So yeah, it could be the lack of quality of football that we have displayed in our games, over the last season that would keep us out of international games, as well as not give us as many primetime games as we may like, or if any. Ladies and gentlemen, I have another guest backstage that I want to bring out. These two guys, they go hand in hand, ladies and gentlemen. I met both of them at the Unfiltered Truth. They have become great friends of mine, over this time. I want to say at least 2 years now. Even though it don't seem like it, but man, time flies, bro. I really appreciate this dude to the max, more than I think he may know. You know what I mean? Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome from the Combat Lounge, as well as a member of, I believe he's a member of Unfiltered Truth. That's where I met him at. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Truly Tony Bang. What's up with you, Tony?
Let's go. Let's go. Yes, I am a member of Unfiltered Truth. I am a member of the NWA, aka a whole bunch of different things. And yeah, man, 2 years, man. Woo, gosh, yeah, that it flies, man. But when it's genuine, that's just how things rock.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We were just literally just getting into the show about, what could be the possibilities of us taking a step back, from having like primetime games, international games. We're definitely going to talk about a couple of other things as well, within this time frame. One of the things I definitely want to touch on before we end the show is your thoughts on Palomalu, and his weight gaining, as well as I do want to talk about the tight end a little bit as well too. But for the most part, I really want to talk about, the way that it seems like the NFL is starting to do us, a little bit crazy when it comes to our schedules. They give us the hardest schedules in the NFL year after year. They give us they flex our games more than they flex anybody else's. They show us games and then take those away and give them to somebody else. I mean, what are the Raiders truly becoming of the NFL? I mean, I think we've tried to do everything that you've asked of us. We got a new stadium, you know what I mean? We got a new home. You know what I mean? Like, what more do we have to do? I mean, we don't have the tailgate experience like it used to be in Oakland. You know what I mean? So it's a little bit safer for people to go to the games. I mean, like, what more is required of us to get a fair shake? Like, what more do the Raiders franchise need to do to get a fair shake in the NFL?
It's one thing is win. You know, real quick, I want to say shout out to the chat, man. Kush, Menace, Holly, you know, all y'all salute, man, for sure, for recognizing the bro, man. Vin Diesel, that's funny, but yeah, man. To answer your question, man, is win, man. It's like, you know, it's like in the fight game. We're the journeymen, you know. We're getting treated like journeymen, where we're there to make the other team look good. You know, and the only way to really gain that respect is by winning. At the moment where we're at, as far as our continuity, you know, and learning to win and things like that, you know, I with them flexing our games and having our schedule looking the way it's looking, I kind of like being under the radar a little bit. I didn't mind having hard schedules, because, you know, iron sharpens iron anyway. You know, and so putting on, you know, better performances would have definitely, I think, earned us a little bit more respect with the schedule makers and everything else. But still, at the end of the day, we're journeymen. You know, we're being used to make the premier teams look good. And so again, like I said, the only you know, way around that is to win and let somebody else become the punching bag.
Well, I mean, well, you know, I get that, you know what I mean, the winning part. But let's just be honest, man. It gets kind of hard to win when everything is stacking up against you. You know what I mean? Because we go through that in our personal lives sometimes. You know what I mean? Like,
very
we
true.
feel like we're doing the everything that we could possibly do, and things just start to stack up against us, right? And then we just be like, damn, well, what do I do? Right? Like, I've done it all. What can I do? But for me, I'm just looking at it like, bro, like, look at it, you know, 2 seasons where we traveled the most, you know what I mean, 3 times the mileage of any other team. You know what I mean? 1 year where we flew West Coast, East Coast, West Coast, East Coast, West Coast, East Coast, West Coast, out to Europe, back to the West Coast, back to the East. It's like, bro, we didn't get 2 back-to-back home games at all that year.
Yeah.
So, and then the year before that, you know, we was traveling just completely all on the East Coast. We put like 10,000 miles on our players. You know what I mean? It's like, you know, we're trying to at least fit the mold of what it is you're asking for without giving up ourselves. But like, what more can we possibly do? You know what I mean? To just be given that level playing field aside from winning, because it's gonna take them to loosen the reins a little bit for us to actually win and win and win and win. You know what I mean? Because it even boils down to some games where it seems like, bro, what are you calling? You know what I mean? You threw a flag before the whistle. You know what I mean? Before the play was even started, you threw a flag, and this guy never play. Like,
and you know, it's funny. It's funny. Like, I'm learning, you know, as much as football as I've experienced, as much football as I know, and now that my sons are playing. My youngest, he's on the 11-year-old team, and we get treated like the Raiders. I mean, to the point where, like, you had referees hanging around huddles, just listening, just to look for something to throw a flag for it. So I kind of say that to say, you know, a lot of you in the chat, us here on the panel, like, we some of us have gotten it the hard way, you know. And you look at some people that's got it the easy way, and we come out to be a little bit more well-rounded when adversity hits. Now, unfortunately, that doesn't it doesn't always going in the Raiders' favor on that end, having that adversity, because we don't keep the team together. So, but in that is always an opportunity to rise above. Now, again, I agree with you. Like, the stack, the cards are stacked. The deck is stacked against us. All the time, just on the logistic part of the game. You know what I mean? Like we talking about the schedule and things like that.
Yeah.
However, a lot of those situations we still could have had some success. And so, I don't know. It's kind of hard for me to have like just the sympathy feeling for it. I can empathize with it. But again, it's the NFL, man. It's such as life, man. If it's hard, you just gotta go through.
No, I
You just gotta
understand
go
that.
through.
I'm
And
not
I
even
don't.
asking
And the
for
way
this.
the NFL is shaping up, it's a lot more parity. So it's not. I think it's hard to get an easy schedule than it is a hard schedule these days.
I don't even want the easy schedule. You know what I mean? I'm just saying, like,
Make it make
just seems
sense,
like
right?
year after year after year after year, when they bring up the top 5 hardest schedules, bro, we are in it year after year after year. When they rotate other teams in and out of it, it seems like we're in it year after year after year after year. And I'm just wondering, like, at some point in time, like, can we get just a year break?
Well, we know for sure 6 of them are gonna be hard.
Break.
Well, but Pete Game though. So let me ask. So we complain about the schedule, but the schedule breaks down the strength of schedule due to the teams that you play's previous record. When nearly every team in your division is going to the playoffs, that drastically impacts your strength.
I mean, you do have the defending champs in your schedule twice a year. I mean, I get that, right? But I'm talking about like just other teams. Like, I'm not asking for the easy road to the Super Bowl. What I'm asking for is a level playing field. You know what I mean? Give the Las Vegas Raiders an opportunity to at least show you something different. Quit treating us like we still in LA or we still in Oakland. Like, we could still be in either one of those places. So no doubt, we can still be in the shittiest stadium of all.
Yeah.
O.co. You know what I mean? And don't think that I'm trying to bash the stadium, but any and everybody who's been in there knows that is not a stadium worthy.
I'm from Oakland. I watched it here and go.
Bro, it's not a team worthy. You know what I mean? Of an NFL. It's not a stadium that's worthy of an NFL franchise, bro. I'm sorry. It's not, you know what I mean? Like, maybe back in the day, you know what I mean? Cool. But now, with the state-of-the-art shit that they got going on, that's just not fit for a high school, bro.
Do you feel like being in Las Vegas, we are getting a little bit more respect on that end of what we're talking about?
No, I think
that's weird. That's wild, because Las Vegas is really being underutilized. Because I could tell you for a fact that covering several events out here, the media loves coming to Vegas. They love.
I think that's Vegas, the city, and I think if you would have put any team there, that still would have been the result. You know what I mean? Because it's Vegas. It's the reason why, you know what I mean, it's able to house and entertain a plethora of people, you know what I mean, at one time. There's always something to do there. No matter what team would have went, that's what would have eventually happened, because that's what the NFL saw in its future. You know, I kind of wish they would just host the Pro Bowl there and the draft every year. You know,
let me tell you something. You have said something that just about every media person from college football on, I said the same thing. They would come here for those. This is where those events should be held.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It makes for a good time. You know what I mean? You get players and they're relaxed, bro. They want look, bro. Vegas is a relaxing place if you go about it the right way.
And it's great for business, man, because I tell you what, man, you hang around some conversations at the bar and you'll hear some things you weren't supposed to hear. It's a great hub for information.
Vegas is the only place where ear hustling is okay.
I'm telling you. I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you, man. Because I feel like Phil Robinson told me, man. He said, "The more you know, the more you can't say." And let me tell you something, man. There's some things that I know that it's like, really, I didn't know it was like that.
Hey, bro, look. I've heard shit just walking by. I wasn't even a part of the conversation. I walked by and heard some shit and was like, well, damn, that was kinky.
Right. But man, yeah, man, these the Raiders have to dig themselves out of this, because at the end of the day, we can be upset about certain things about the schedule, but we can, and in the same conversation, we can talk about certain games that we should have won, even under those conditions.
Well, if I'm being honest, I just feel like the NFL is probably missing out on an extra $500 million. You know what I mean? Just based on the way that they treat us. If they treated us a little bit better, I think that's an extra $500 million, because the NFL was always way more profitable when the Raiders are slightly a bit more successful.
I think we'll find out pretty soon, because it seems like the circle of it's starting to. We're starting to see newer teams being perennial playoff teams that they weren't in the past. And I can definitely see, I mean, look at the Jets. The Jets are threatening. And so on and so on. So we got to make our own. We're in Las Vegas. We got to make our own luck.
That's why I say, I feel like, we've done everything they've asked of us. You know what I mean? Like, when you gonna hold up your end of the deal, you know what I mean, and relax a little bit. You know what I mean? Just a little bit, man.
Yeah,
I'm not asking for an easy road.
Yeah,
I'm just asking for a level playing field.
Yeah,
and I just feel like every year, man, like, we're never on a level playing field with the rest of the NFL.
It'd be interesting if somebody can pull up either in the chat or here, or somebody can pull up, the Patriots traveling and things like that during their heyday. I think, most of their games was in the East Coast. East Coast time, like they really didn't travel much west at all.
Man, if you look,
I'd be surprised if they did.
Who were they gonna come play? I mean, their division is is literally on the East Coast.
The whole half of the conference, probably, right?
Yeah.
It's not many west of Indianapolis.
You got teams on this side of the hemisphere too, though, man.
Okay, they have to play the Colts, which they played regularly. You'd be
the whole division
in Denver. The Raiders and the Chargers. You got 5 teams on the West Coast, and the other are all.
I guess you could consider Houston.
So you got Arizona's on the West Coast, Seattle's on the West Coast, 49ers is on the West Coast, the Rams is on the West Coast. So
the way the schedule breaks down with that is that you rotate NFC divisions, so you'd only get the West Coast teams every 4 years, and 2 of those games would be at home. The other 2 would be on the road. So when you talk about having those games, that's the way that breaks down.
Well, see, the issue with the teams on the West Coast, on the East Coast versus the West Coast as well, is that the East Coast those states and places are a lot smaller. You know what I mean? So the travel distance isn't as big as the West Coast. You Absolutely. Know what I mean? Like for us to go play Seattle. That's like Tennessee going to play New York. You know what I mean? Like, it ain't that far away. For us, I mean, it's a journey because everything on the West Coast is huge.
Right.
You know what I mean? From the Midwest on to the West Coast, you got large states. On the East, you got smaller states, less distances to travel to each state and play your games. Sometimes they take a bus. You know what I mean? We fly everywhere. We got to.
The NFC South can literally drive the 85 or something like that, or the 10 or whatever that is, like to all their away games.
Man,
they can stay on the same highway.
Yeah, that's all I'm saying. It's like I feel like, you know, and I think that might be all the teams on the West Coast who kind of get a raw end of the deal because the East Coast is so compact. You know, I actually didn't even think about it that way till now, but still, we've traveled way more miles in 5 seasons than any other team in the NFL. And I feel like that's kind of an issue. We got that beautiful ass stadium. Can we get a couple of more games in it?
Maybe our new president can look over the books and say, "Hey, man, the way gas is too, y'all, we pay more than y'all pay."
Hey, look, if gas is this high, imagine how much jet fuel is. It ain't like you pulling up and pumping 91 in the plane, bro.
No, that's coming straight from the barrel.
Hey, give me some of that lawnmower fluid. Give me some of that E85. Let me get some of that E85.
Hey, let me tell you something. That tank could be on a quarter tank all the time. That's what I mean. Bro. You think we're gonna make it to Arizona? I think we got it.
Bro, I gotta travel that much, bro. I'm buying 5 Greyhounds, bro. I'm about to buy 5 Greyhounds, bro.
Hey, you cop 5 Greyhounds. We'll see how many people don't resign next year.
Hey, look. Actually, I'm gonna get 6.
Flat out quit on the team, but I can't do this.
I can't do this. My back hurt.
I'm gonna get 6 of them. Right? It's 50 players, right? So 5 buses. You know what I mean? That's 10 players to a bus. You know what I mean? You got room to stretch out, lay down, everything, and then the coaches get a bus. You know what I mean? So 5 players, 5 buses for the players, 10 players to a bus. Yeah, I mean, look,
no, none of the side chicks can fit on that bus though. So I don't know what they're gonna do.
Hey, I'm buying double-decker buses out this bitch. I'm buying double-deckers out this bitch, bro.
It ain't luxury, but it's comfortable.
Hey, the first floor is for everybody 6 foot and under. Is on the first floor.
Now y'all got to get up on the top.
It's 6 foot and over on the top floor. 6 foot and over.
I don't know where you gonna put Crosby's legs in that thing.
That's why you got to go to the top floor, bro. Hey, if you the water boy, you got to go in the baggage claim. You gotta go with the baggage. That's what you hear
for the bathroom. He'll get let off in the bathroom. he come out, see the sun, and be blocking his eyes because he ain't seen no bright lights in 4 hours.
Bro, a lot of the NFL is changing over to domes. If you don't realize, a lot of the new stadiums going up are transferring over to domes. But here's the thing. They're also going to have to follow the path of Arizona Cardinals and the Las Vegas Raiders and get the removable field because the Players Association, they want grass fields. They're tired of artificial. They're standing strong on that they want real grass back in these stadiums because look, as pretty and as cost effective as artificial turf is, it has claimed a lot of careers.
Yep.
Yeah. And I mean, no matter how much they try to redo it, I mean, I shoot.
And
when I was playing,
it will never be as soft as grass, and that is one
No.
of the reasons concussions have gone up as well too.
Yeah, and I was just looking at helmets with my son for the fall season, and let me tell you something. There's two helmets that I really like. Now there's one that I can, he's playing very well, so he's earned it, I would say. But that thing's $700, and then they got another helmet. The most I've ever seen was $1,200 for the helmet. And they were explaining the technology, and I'm not trying to go on a tangent, but you brought up a good point about the concussions. And they've done some different things with the back of the helmet, because they say that's where most of the concussions come from, hitting the back of the head.
Yeah.
But then again, going back to the turf, man, yeah, I played. If anybody's from the Bay Area or is familiar with the Bay Area, I played for my high school was Berkeley High School. We had turf there, but the worst turf I ever played on was the turf I played for in JUCO and junior college ball, and that's at Contra Costa College. And let me tell you, that stuff was made out of like old tires or some shit like that. Like it was by far the worst. I still got the scars to prove it.
All you can really do with them helmets is lessen the pain from the inside, but there's nothing you can do to stop the brain from moving. It's floating in liquid. It's not attached. I mean, it's just attached to your nervous system, but it's floating in liquid. There's nothing to stop it from moving inside your head. All you can do is soften the pain on the outside. You know what I mean? And that's pretty much really it. But you can't.
It does a little bit for the impact. It does a little bit for the impact.
It helps the impact just slightly. You know what I mean? And that's only when you come into contact with like the floor.
And these are smart helmets too, by the way. So they also get data, however you want to say it, on the on all of the head collision, things like that, and they can have an idea of. They get an idea of, okay, is this player doing something wrong? He's using his head too much. Like they can actually like look at that information and come up with a safer solution for them.
Most definitely. I definitely
was like, wow.
the leaps and bounds that are being made to make the game safer. But I mean, just in all honesty, there's really nothing.
We didn't even talk about the knees. We ain't talking about ACLs.
That's what the turf is, you know what I mean? It's claiming ACLs, MCLs, you know what I mean? ACLs, LCLs, you know what I mean? L stats, whatever. You know what I mean? They're ripping, they're tearing. I mean, you know, and it don't feel good to get tackled on turf either. That shit irritate your skin.
Man,
if you ever had a good time and got rug burn, you understand what I'm talking about.
And now imagine doing it over and over and over.
Exactly. But no, I definitely always been a big fan of playing on like grass. Grass has always been, you know, softer. It's always been that thing that you can, pretty much, you know what I mean? Like you can walk a field and you just understand, you know what I mean? But you know, that you know, and then you can wear a cleat that actually gets you some traction. But you know, I ended my career on turf. You know what I mean? MCL at the same time, planting on turf. When I went to turn, my foot planted, my body turned, but my foot and the bottom, like my foot, it didn't. Nope. You know, it got stuck on that turf, and it wouldn't, and I couldn't pivot.
Yeah, and it doesn't take, well, depending on how your body's positioned, it don't take that much.
It don't, especially when you plant and then go to turn and then the shit don't turn. And then when it popped and I went to put it down and I went, oh, I got killed.
Oh, my baby.
I got killed, bro.
Yo, and to the chat, I can explain what the injury looks like on the inside. So imagine you know, how my fists are. This is your knee or whatever, and in between this area here is the let's just say the MCL, so which will be on the inside of the knee, and you lose that. What's a good way to like a bumper, like you know, a shock absorber, and what ends up happening is you have bone on bone.
The cartilage.
Yeah, and you start to have bone on bone, and that sucks. That hurts, and you end up having to have a type of knee brace that pushes from the opposite side, pushes your knee in from the opposite side to open up that compartment where that cartilage was.
Yeah. Yep, I got all of that in there. Well, I got all of that in there because I was the guy who elected not to have the surgery.
Yeah. So I heard different grades for the draft. I don't want to get off course. I think you had some other topics too, but I think you both kind of had the same thing around a B minus, right?
Yeah, me and Phil had discussed that. You know what I mean, on a previous show. I think we both were right in the same realm of like a B minus. You know what I mean, for the overall haul, not just the draft. UDF. No, was it just the draft? It was. We didn't talk UDFAs. Huh? Yeah, we just talked the draft. We didn't talk UDFAs, but yeah, for the draft, it was right around that B minus area. That's right, because I came and changed my grade once I reviewed the UDFAs, and I gave them an overall B. You know what I mean?
Yeah, right on, Terrence.
So yeah, no, the UDFAs that they got were very good.
That's what brought it up for me. You know, I was kind of really low simply because we got O'Connell, and you know, as I told you, I feel like that's Connor Cook to me, bro. I think we just picked up another Connor Cook. I don't really feel like this dude, like, you know, people run off his stats, 9,000 yards, bro, but what has he really done? You know what I mean? Yeah, that's nice yardage, but what has he really done? What were the wins like? You know what I mean? Like, and I just, you know, I look at him and I'm like, bro, he need work. You know what I mean?
Do you think that translates into as long as he gets the ball to the weapons and let the weapons do the work?
Yeah, you know that it does. You know that's exactly what that they're thinking is, but that's an arcade that the player that they're looking for to fit that mold doesn't exist. Because that's not that type of player. Well, everybody say, oh, if you can stand in the pocket and deliver the football, you'll play forever. No, you won't. Because if all you can do is stand in the pocket, not get out and make a move, not make a defender miss, you're gonna get killed in this league.
Yeah, that was over with when I would say Javon Curse really came in the league and started running 4 threes off the edge. You know, it's like, oh, forget about it. Forget about it.
Yeah, get in front of the freight train if you want to.
Yeah.
Could you imagine what it would look like to have a DeMarcus Lawrence coming after you?
Hey, look,
there,
all of that
might like War of the Worlds. Them zombies that can run fast.
All that pocket passing was perfectly acceptable when linebackers and D linemen was running 5.3 40s.
Right.
Yeah. You was like, all right. You was like, yeah, let's go. We got one.
Now these dudes is running 4 3s, 4 4.
Yeah.
And quarterbacks are still running 5 2s.
They saw Ray Lewis going sideline to sideline. Oh, hell no.
Just can't even do it.
Can't do it. This man almost 250 pounds over here. What about the
receiver out here?
So since we talked about the Raiders' international popularity and basically got into a discussion on what it is,
yeah.
Well, I want to segue into a conversation that I feel like should be had because I have questions about this. It sounds nice, but I have my questions and concerns, and that's to the relation of Polamalu coming in at an extra 25 pounds, ready to play linebacker. Now, if I'm not mistaken, season just ended not too long ago. I don't know how you put on 25 pounds in such a short amount of time to play a position you don't play and look, as some people say, quite amazing. How that happen?
I'm gonna plead the fifth.
I guess. Oh, no, go ahead, my bad.
I'm gonna plead the fifth for the panel. Don't ask, as your attorney, truly, Tony. I gotta advise you not to answer that. We do not engage snitching on the program. All right.
I will say this. You know, what is his natural weight? You know, is he? I mean, did he? You know, did he lose weight?
I have to advise you not to use that statement either.
His natural weight is actually 35 pounds less than that.
Yo, yes, that's hard. Yeah, that's hard.
Advise my client to plead the fifth and stop talking. Next question.
All right, so next question is that possible?
Listen, motherfucker.
Is it possible to put on 25 pounds?
Sure, it's possible. Listen, again, I plead the fifth. I don't know.
Have you been to an Islander event? You know, a family event? It's food for days.
But the second half of that question is
never mind.
Because I've been to some luau's.
If you got a friend that says, "Hey, brother, what's up, brother?" Yeah, you know,
Mahalo.
You know they rock with you.
Quite a few of them.
I'm just wondering.
Terrence, we'll use PEDs. I think we have to use the proper pronoun for steroids.
Look, I'm not trying to insinuate any steroids.
No,
I'm just trying to. Really, what I'm trying to get you to realize is stop looking at these reports that are saying, "Oh, and he looks great." There's no possible freaking way you add 25 pounds in that short amount of time and look great.
Maybe he's on the Lattimore diet.
You look at it. So when did the season end? The season ended in February.
Mm-hmm. Places the table.
Came in 25 pounds heavier since February.
He about to bash his head through a car window.
The Rock don't work out that much.
I'm done, bro.
Hey, my man was putting in the time in Iron Addicts with CT Fletcher, bro. They don't fuck around.
All the creatine is gone from. Ain't no more creatine left.
So what I'm really
it was like toilet paper when coronavirus hit.
I'm blowing holes in the reports. Like, bro, there ain't no way. Is the reporter insinuating steroids? Because it's not me. I didn't write the report. But I know that it's not humanly possible to put on 25 pounds.
He just needs to quote the great Floyd Mayweather: "Hard work, dedication."
And not look great. The muscle don't develop that fast. It just don't.
Nope,
not that fast.
Oh man,
March, April, May. We're in May. We're 3 months. You're gonna tell me you added 8.3 pounds of muscle every month?
Check to see if he's losing his hair.
You put on 9.7 pounds of muscle every month.
We started here and then we just gradually just shrunk up.
He's on the Vince McMahon '90s workout.
Nope. Look,
The
I'm not buying your brand.
Hey,
Coach.
that's right, Brother Wade. He got that Lamar Jackson home gym.
Man, I'm just
Oh,
asking
man.
a question.
Saying.
I'm not
So again, you know, we're not implying anything. We're just, as they say, we're just saying before you say something fucked up.
Are simply fictitious. No knowledge, no nothing.
Yeah,
Insinuations have been made.
yeah.
Yeah, none of that. I'm more about questioning the reporter who wrote this article, because there ain't no way. Ain't no way.
I need to get with Deuce. That's what I need to do. I need to drop some weight.
Hey, Deuce. Either that or he has big finger syndrome and meant to type
Bro.
15 pounds. Elephantitis in his finger.
Deuce will have you right.
What'd he do? Eat his girlfriend?
Hey,
Whole sandwich, huh? Not just the tip.
she should have let them see. She should have let him see them kids.
That boy ate 3 pigs.
He should let them see them kids. That's why she got
He
8.
ate piglets. He ain't even the 4. He ate piglets.
Hey, maybe you're stressed out, and now he's back right. I don't. When you stress, your weight goes down. Oh man, this is messed up to talk about. You know what? I'm going to take I'm going to take my legal. I'm going to take the legal advice and just leave it alone.
Well, he said he was your lawyer. He didn't say he was my lawyer. So I wasn't giving any legal advice.
He said, "Unfiltered. It is what it is." Oh my gosh!
No, I was just wondering.
Yeah, that's
I don't see how that's humanly possible. Truthfully, I can see you putting on 25 pounds in 3 months, but I also can't see you at the same time looking like you're in great shape. I feel like, you know what I mean? If you're going to put on 25 pounds, you know what I mean, and be in great shape, I think that's like at least a 5 to 6 month process.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? But to do it in 3, bro, ain't nobody working out that much. Ain't no diet that great. Ain't no work. Ain't enough workout in the world. You know what I mean? Without you damaging your body to get that.
I think it's a lot easier to lose it than it is to gain it.
Look, it's easy to transfer fat into muscle, but it's hard to already be in shape and add more weight on top of it.
Elite shape, not just any type of shape. You're talking about professional athlete shape already. You're already rocking at about 6 to 8% body fat. So to put on 25 pounds of muscle on top of that is true. If you want to go at a safe rate, would probably be at about 5 pounds a month. And even then, that's to do that consistently for 5 months would get you to 25 pounds. But to do it in 3, it's a lot.
Man, where the homie at? Where the trainer at, man?
Right?
I need to hear.
Listen, bro, he been on that Greg Anderson workout, bro. I told you.
Bro, you can do 90 PX for 17 weeks nonstop, bro, and you're still
dig deeper, beach body.
Peloton would have kicked you off like, nah, man, you killing yourself. Stop it. Stop it. The bike has been disabled. The bike has been disabled. Your Peloton account has been frozen due to too much activity.
As soon as you walk in GMC, they're like, damn, again? Here again.
Hey, Ray Love, I would love to say it was 25 pounds of fat too, because that makes sense. But of muscle,
Yeah,
3 months?
yeah.
Nah, bro.
And you could do 25 pounds with fat for sure, because I am a fan of the show My 600-Pound Life. There's very few shows. Matter of fact, we had this conversation dirty before talking about there's not really no good shows. And that's not supposed to be funny, but man, that show, man, that's comedy. And you know, shout out to the big community. But man, yeah, they put on some weight like it ain't nothing.
Man,
I'm gonna get some Oreos.
man. I'm just saying. This is
Yeah,
a
man.
process.
Either that's wrong or something wrong is happening.
Yeah, if it's true, man, I need your workout guy, bro. Because that's amazing. I've never seen it done before.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. Because you can have me right by August. I still had a summer body.
Bro. I'm only trying to add maybe 5 or 6. You know what I mean? So you're gonna tell me in a month I could be looking. Oh, bro, let's talk.
Yeah, I mean, if you can
Yeah,
add 20.
And how does he know that though?
I want to see how much you can lose, how much I can cut.
Man.
But
now
I think about how would he know that? Like how would he know that? Like, did you see him get on the scale? Or did he just do it by looks? Because I've seen some people that's 185 that you would swear is 200 pounds.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
just because of what kind of shape they're in.
So he says 25 pounds heavier and in great shape and ready to play linebacker.
He must have been told that. Because you can't look at that and tell just by eyeballing and be exact like that.
Oh, they got Dave Chappelle up in there. That's what's up.
Shoot, that's a nice segue. I'm going to that. I'm going to that straight jokes no chase tour that's coming out here. 27. Basically it look like they're trying to do almost a new Kings of Comedy.
Is that the Kevin Hart, Chris Rock, Dave Chappelle?
That's Mike Epps, Cedric Entertainer, DL Hughley, DC Young Fly, and Earthquake. Probably a couple more.
Would you be mad if I said DC Young Fly wasn't that funny?
No. I'm silly though, so
no, I give him his credit, right? Well, I'll take. He's funny, but he can't act.
Oh yeah, that's a whole other thing. But he got an album, I think, or a mixtape or something out. I think.
Right, so he actually, brother, for making it big.
He actually got vocals. But I mean, they found they the whole 85 South thing though. In general though, it's a good look on how they do their thing. But so we got Palomalu, and what was the other one we were going to discuss?
We were going to talk about Meyer.
Okay.
And, how Tom Flores has viewed him. You know what I mean? As a reminder of Casper the Ghost, right? He says when he looks at Mayer's film, you know what I mean, that's what Mayer reminds him of, you know what I mean? Casper the Friendly Ghost.
Goes to the post.
So, you know, I like the kid. I do. I have high expectations for him. I think he can be better than the guy that just left. When it's all said and done, I think he could definitely have the better career. I mean, he's already a better blocker, and he can get better at that. You know what I mean? His speed, you know what I mean, is one of the things he lacks, but I think that can be fixed. You know, you know, people do get faster, you know, because you can train to get faster. You know, get you some resistant bands, get you a track coach. You know what I mean?
Correct.
You know, you can shave yourself a second off your 40 time. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? You can shave a
Not
couple of seconds.
a
Huh?
tenth
Hit that Walter Payton Hill.
second.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
bro.
mean,
Shit.
a few tenths. Let's say you can shave 3/10 of a second off your time. You know what I mean? I would like for it to be a full second, so he's back in like the 4 or 5 range. You know,
Come on, Omar. Omar, man. Come on.
you know what I mean? Yeah, so you know what I mean. I personally like the kid. You know what I mean. I think it was a good pickup. Um, but I hadn't looked at him as a reminder to the ghost in the ghost to the post. But I mean, do you see it? Like, is that something you see from the kid? I see him being quite possibly, maybe if he, what I mean, if the game settles in with him real well and he, what I mean, he has a longevity career, I think he could quite possibly make a run for greatness. I won't say Hall of Fame because we haven't seen the kid play yet. You know what I mean?
Mm.
But I just think if he gets, everything down, you know what I mean, and the game truly works out for him, I think he can make a run at greatness. I see the chance.
He could. Yeah, I mean, when people say those kind of comments, they remind them of, and they always bring up a great. I just hear that. I just hear that as potential. He has a potential to affect the game the way X player did in his role. And again, with this coaching staff, we just go back to what this coaching staff said. What there's about is finding guys that do their job, do something specific that they've been brought in for. So, it just like you said, it remains to be seen. Really, more so than agree or disagree.
Yeah, I believe it's something that we will in time find out, to be true or false. But either way, I still like the pick. I expect big things from him. But it's all up to him at this point, man. Put in the work to get the reward.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know, um,
One of the main things too is matter of fact, we talk about being the type of guy that's nobody likes that's not my job guy. So more so than the catching and searching things like that. You talked about his blocking. Those things are going to really be the more important. I think the more important things is how he gets down in the trenches. Because if you can block, and you definitely got the skill ability, it'd be hard to get him out, take him off the field.
No, that's real. The block, and especially when you can block at the level that he can block, like it's amazing. Like you don't see that level of blocking anymore. Like he's truly dedicated himself to the art of blocking. I said it on my show earlier that I did with me, Jones, and Mo, where when he engages with the defender, that defender does not make the tackle. Now, does he win every engagement? No, I'm not going to say that he wins every engagement, but he always keeps his body in between the tackle, the guy he's blocking, and the ball carrier, and that guy never makes the tackle, ever.
No, I do notice that, but one of the great things I heard him say was, my blocking could be better.
Oh yeah,
you know what I mean. Like we already see you put some phenomenal blocks out there, and yes, you're not gonna make them all. You know what I mean. But when I hear a player says, "You know what, I'm good at it, but I could be better," he's like the catching. That's natural. You know what I mean. He started as a wide receiver and translated into a tight end. You know what I mean. The blocking was the one that he always had to work on. So he's like, if I could be a better blocker. You know what I mean? He's like, man, the sky's,
especially and especially for the offense. I mean, think about it. Like you don't have to, you don't have to expose your hand. Bringing the guy. Okay, I'm bringing this guy to block. Everybody knows the scouting report. It's a run, because this guy doesn't have hands. They're not gonna throw it to this guy.
Yeah.
But when you got a guy that's dimensional that way, that can block, and is great skill wise with the hands and things like that. Your play actions and things like that are just going to be. It's going to be tough. It's going to be tough to stop and tough to read.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree with that. Like I said, one of the things I looked at, everybody was like, "Oh man, look at him catch." You know what I mean? He can move. He definitely. I looked at the blocking. You know what I mean? Yes, I want a tight end who can catch. But I definitely need a tight end who can block too. You know what I mean? Now, if I can get a tight end that's a dual threat that can do both, winner. You know what I mean?
This is crazy. No, but yeah, and and I didn't even mention the ability to have more options when you're audibling, from run to pass or vice versa. You still got a guy in there that is capable of doing both, and the defense is gonna that just helps the offense keep the defense on their heels even more. So I'm excited. I'm excited from there.
Oh yeah, I'm definitely excited. I'm actually excited for the season. If I'm being 100% honest, man, I'm actually excited for the season. Sport. For me, this is the boring time of the year for me. My team's not in it, so I'm bored. You know what I mean? Like other people still got teams playing. That's fine. Cool deal. Rock with it.
Yeah. One of mine just took care of the Lakers.
But
spoiler alert.
For me, my team's not in it, so I'm bored as shit right about now. I can't watch baseball on TV. That's just boring. Like that's just.
Especially by yourself, it is kind of. Well, I like pitching duels.
Yeah.
So
if you thought golf was boring on TV, baseball has become extremely boring on TV, bro. It's just
I think golf might be a little bit more intense for me when I watch it on TV.
Well, man, I just watched the 3-day coverage. You know what I mean, of the PGA Works Championship Classic. Where they feature HBCUs and minority schools, and that's like their college championship. I just watched CM Mixon win today. You know what I mean? In fact, I think I was talking to you when he won.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I was talking to you when he won. I was sitting there and that's what I was doing. I might have been watching it when I was talking to Phil. Because it's been on like all day. It's been on for 3 days. But I mean, it's it's actually pretty exciting if you know the game.
Yeah.
Some of these shots that you see, you're like, ain't no way. Or you be like, damn, I could. That's a nice shot right there. Like, man, I was
right.
like that in my arsenal.
Right. It's like, oh man, he's in the sand. Okay, he'd be lucky to get it 10 feet from the cup, and then you start to see it bend and bend. You're like, that's why I find golf interesting because you see the elements, of the weather or situation, and the whole game is about putting yourself in the best position to make the shot in less shots than it's recommended. So that's why I'm so more intense.
It's one of it's like one of the only games left that's still pure. You know what I mean? The game that's not interfered with like football or basketball has been or baseball has been. Like all these other sports have been interfered with.
And PEDs wouldn't help you in the golf game, does it?
Yeah, it would.
Yeah, it would, but
I guess when you drive, I guess, right? I guess, yeah.
Just the club period. It'll help the spin, help the backswing, generate more power. Yeah, it would help.
It would help.
It would, but
It seems like it's so much finesse to it. You know?
Yeah, it's more than just power. You got to be able to control it. So if you can't control it, it does being able to outswing anybody doesn't do you any good if you launch it off the course.
True statement. So I mean, you know, certain things come into to play when it comes to that. You know what I mean? But I mean, I'm just looking at the sport as still like a one of those few sports where, you know, it is truly up to the athlete. You know what I mean? It's all about what the athlete can do with his club and that little ball. Like, man, you know, especially for a game that I play that I'm not great at. You know what I mean? So for me to sit back and, you know, I'm learning too. You know what I mean? I'm looking at these guys like, oh, what decision is he making? You know what I mean? In this situation, like what what club is his choice? You know what I mean? Why did he choose that club? Like, you know, I'm looking at the game at a different aspect.
Right. You're in the tall grass from 120 yards away. You know, what are you going to do?
I have an understanding of what's taking place because I play. Now, if you don't play, then all of it's boring to you because you don't get it. You know what I mean? But if you play or have some semblance of the game, then you definitely understand. But to watch somebody hit that little ball off that little ass tee with this club that ain't that much bigger, and that shit go like 300 yards,
crush it.
Hey, you know what I like? I like. It seems like it's the same guy at every event. As soon as it comes out to you, get up. I'm like, that dude is lit, whoever he is.
Hey.
And I don't know if it's different people with the same voice or the same dude, but it sounds the same every time.
There's a new era of golf players coming in. You know what I mean? And the game is actually going to be a little bit more entertaining than it has been in the past. I guarantee you that. The fashion is already
do the nay. I swear to God,
Golf Trip is already making its way to mainstream. People who don't even play, you know what I mean, are starting to buy golf clothing. You know, like Eastside Golf, they make phenomenal clothing, bro.
Okay.
So, you know, check them out.
They got some shoes too, right? They got some.
Yeah, they got some Jordan. They got a collaboration with Jordan.
Yeah. I'm like, is them some 11s? Like, what? Let's go.
The red and cream. They're red and cream, but they make nice clothing, bro. It costs, but the quality is on point, and it's a black-owned company.
Okay.
It was created to bring awareness to underprivileged youth, you know what I mean, and non-golfers. So it's focused on getting the game of golf out there, you know, to those who wouldn't, you know what I mean, normally play.
Because there's space, because baseball is, you know, sometimes the conversation comes up. Well, you know, we used to play baseball a lot more than in the past than we did now, and it's like, well, how you gonna get that many people together with equipment? You know what I mean, and go somewhere and play. You know, a pickup game. You know, it's not really that convenient.
Yeah. Nah. But you know, I love the game. That's kind of the reason why I created, you know what I mean, Highball Golf. You know what I mean, which is my other network dedicated 100% to golf. You know.
Oh, I'm on that.
Yeah. The overall goal for that channel is to do interviews from golf courses. So I mean, I know I got to build with shows or whatnot. You know what I mean? My overall goal is to have interviews on a golf course while playing around with, be it a football player, basketball, PGA star, you know, up and coming high school or whatever. You know what I mean? If you play the game of golf, you got something to talk about. You know what I mean? And people want to hear from you. Hey, what better way than a relaxing day out at the links?
Right, and indirectly you follow their career, and you know they reach, you know, certain heights. You know, that relationship has been built since the beginning. So that's good. That's a good look.
Yeah. So that's my overall goal is to host my shows from individual courses. You know what I mean? Wherever it may be. You know, but let's talk about the game of golf. Let's talk about the career that you're actually in. You know, how you got into golf, you know, how you got into what it is that you do. If you're a football player, you know what I mean? We'll talk about you know, whatever you want to talk about in that aspect, you know, but you know, it'll really be about, you know, what got you into the game of golf. You know, what drip are you wearing? You know what I mean? I want to get to the point where I got sponsors and you know what I mean? I can give people gifts and be like, hey man, look, if you don't mind, if you could wear my sponsor stuff, you know what I mean, and you get to keep it, you know what I mean. But if you're feeling it, if you wouldn't mind, if you're feeling it, you know, new golf wear, I'm gonna wear something, you know. But that's what I'm trying to get to. But have great content, great shows, wonderful things to talk about. You know?
If when I see you on CBS, I'm like, do they know who they got out there? Do they know?
Get some pointers, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I may not make the young PGA, but I'm not giving up on making a senior PGA at some point in time. I'm trying to learn this game to where I can get me a PGA card, but you know, by the time I actually learn it to play that, I think I might be eligible for the senior PGA.
Hey, you got all this is just time.
I think that starts at like 48. You know what I mean? So
48. Okay.
Yeah, I think that starts at like 48. You can apply for.
So when Tiger can play in that thing, he don't play in that thing. No, he don't play in the senior tournament. No.
Not yet.
Okay.
I think Tiger might be done with golf though.
Yeah.
I think after that wreck, I applauded him from coming back, but bro, I think
didn't he win when he came back? Didn't he win a major when he came back?
Yeah, but I think I would have hung it up, bro. Or I'll continue to play as long as there's no forecast of rain or cold. I will play.
Hey, just wear that nice gear that you were just talking about. You'd be fine.
Yeah, bro. That tournament a couple of weeks ago, bro, that he played in when it was raining, bro, that looked sad, bro. It looked pitiful.
Oh man.
It looked like Michael Jackson without his makeup and stuff, bro. It just
God.
It was bad, bro. I felt bad for Tiger. I was like, man, somebody please get this man up off the course. Bring him a cart. He cannot walk the links anymore. Please bring this man a cart.
It is almost like seeing Jordan with the Wizards. It's like, yeah. He's still putting like 20, but it
would have been like watching Jordan in a new version of Space Jam, bro. You'd have been like, no.
He had to kick that out the bugs. Like, hey man, you take this one.
That is not okay. No.
Oh, man. He stretched that arm and it don't go far enough.
Look, so within these, we're into our last 12 minutes of the show. As I said, I wasn't going to be here too long. I'm going to go in and watch some TV, relax, put my feet up, let my brain relax. Probably come back tomorrow with I'll definitely be back tomorrow to talk about the schedule release. Talk about the schedule. I'll have my own take. I'm pretty sure, you guys will be fed a whole lot of things tomorrow, you know what I mean? Because the schedule comes out, but I'll come in and talk about my takes, you know what I mean? And just how it is I feel about the schedule release. And, we'll have some fun. We'll talk for another hour. We will not do record predictions tomorrow. I'm telling you that right now. There will not be any record predictions, but we will talk about fuck it. You might get a record prediction. Because if I got to talk about the schedule, I got to talk about if the game is winnable or not. And if it is winnable, then it counts as a win, right?
Absolutely.
So yeah. Tune in tomorrow. We will definitely break down, the schedule and what could be winnable, what might not be winnable, what might be a toss up. Maybe there's a trap game. Who knows? Yeah.
That's okay. That's some good conversation.
But before we leave, Truly Tony, man, please plug any and everything that you so need to plug, my brother.
You can catch me. You can catch my articles on newsstitchmedia.com. I go by my government, Anthony Morrow. I got nothing to hide. Y'all better not open up no credit card. Good luck trying to open up a credit card with my shit.
You know who you use.
And then you're definitely going to catch. You can definitely catch on the Combat Lounge. Definitely go ahead and subscribe to the YouTube channel. We're definitely on IG at The Real Combat Lounge. We're also on Twitter, The Combat Lounge. I'm also on LinkedIn. Just use the same name I just gave. If you missed it, well, you just missed it. No, but other than that, man, feel great. Getting back to what I do on the broadcast. I take a little break, as we all should at times when we need to. But other than that, you can also catch me on Unfiltered Truth, of course. Unfiltered After Dark with Raider Rich. Tune in. We're there Saturday nights. Other than that, right away, be easy on the Orioles or you will gain that 25 pounds.
Philly Phil, my guy. Please take the time to plug any and everything you need to plug, brother.
Raider Ramble is where you catch articles. Raider Ramble Cast. We're supposed to be getting together to do that pretty soon before the draft just gets completely all played out as if it wasn't already. But that's a podcast for the Raider Ramble that me and Mario are gonna be doing, and cycle through some of the writers on staff. The Unfiltered Truth. It is what it is. It's me everywhere I go, but it's my show. It's my YouTube channel. It's the website. It's everything that I'm known for. Also, the Combat Lounge. I got an event on Saturday, actually, out in the Stockton Arena for the Top Ranked Boxing event. About to go out there and put some more work in. So, like you said, the hardest working man in the content business, at least on the YouTube side, that's for sure.
Most definitely, man. Well, I want to just extend a wonderful, wonderful big thank you to both of you brothers for pulling up, man, and expressing, sharing your opinions with me and the chat this evening. It's always a pleasure to speak to both of you, to align my thoughts with thoughts that I feel like are well thought out, and well placed. Lately, me and Phil kind of been on the same page. I kind of feel like I'm getting that Philly vibe, like I'm seeing it, brother. I'm seeing it. I'm not gonna say you always right, like I always say, you right sometimes. Right sometimes, man. You can't give Phil all the credit, bro. You can't give Phil all the credit. He won't be your friend no more. Hey, when you give me all my credit, I don't need you. No, I'm just playing.
You just start answering Phil like, what, man? What? I know, man.
What? Hey, made it till you got some yes men. I need all that I can get.
You calling to blow me up again, man? What, man?
What you want me to say?
Look, I'm right so much you don't even want to admit it.
Hey, sometimes I'm right, even though I'm wrong. Even though I'm wrong, I'm still right. But even though I could have been wrong, I'm still right. Even though I might not be right, but I'm still wrong, and I'm still right. Even though I was wrong, I was still right.
All that matters is that I was right.
Man, no southpaws here, man. No southpaws.
No, but it's definitely been a wonderful show, man. I greatly appreciate each and every person who has allowed me and my panel to grace your screen for any amount of time, been it 10 seconds, 5 seconds, whatever it was. If you were here for the whole show, I greatly appreciate you in the most deepest of sympathy ways. I do appreciate you because I know the Laker game is on. I know, there's other things going on in the world.
Like the Warrior game right now.
Yeah, the Warrior game, the Laker game. I know the playoff game is on. So the fact that you were here, you tuned in, look, I greatly appreciate you for real. And with that being said, as always, No matter how much it rains, you can never stop the sun from shining. Raider Nation, YouTube. Fuck who hates you. Who fucking loves you. Go get your sunshine, man. We out. Peace.